right, friends, welcome back to Zero Dark Nerdy, the galaxy's most average pop culture podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network, Golden Ticket Cinemas, formerly Brassfield Cinemas, right over at the Brassfield Shopping Center, Nerd Bombers, as well as our good friends over at Sailfish Comics, with 3 locations here in North Carolina, one in Concord, one in Winston-Salem, and one right here in Greensboro, right across from Best Buy. As always, we want to thank all of the many trivia nights that we get to host throughout the Triad. Be sure to check out our website, popculturepodcast.com, for a full list of events. And I think we're going to go ahead and get things started. Oh, can't forget our good buddy, Scotty the Body Springer, for if you're looking for a DJ or an entertainment company for any weddings, corporate events, get-togethers, the whole 9 yards. Be sure to reach out to our boy Scotty the Body Springer. You can see his website, which is topropeentertainment.com. So today we're going to be talking about Thunderbolts, a.k.a. the new Avengers. You have myself, Brian, a.k.a. El Nino, in the building, as well as
Jordan, a.k.a. Baby Knife.
B, a.k.a. Gobi.
Ooh, there we go. B, first time on the show, definitely not going to be the last. So we're excited to have her on. We're excited to talk about Thunderbolts, wrapping up phase 5 of the MCU. We're going to be going over just kind of general thoughts, some of our favorite performances, go over the mid and post-credit scenes, and of course, give it our score and, what we're excited about as we get ready to launch into phase 6 of the MCU. So we'll kick it off with Jordan, a.k.a. Baby Knife, in terms of, overall thoughts on the film.
Overall thoughts. So the first time B and I went and watched it in IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
First time we watched it, early. We went to the May 1st, 10:30 one of the night before screening.
Okay.
First thoughts for me after were that it was good. It was good. And that's, I don't want to say that's about it, but I definitely felt that it was the best of the phase, I think, for sure. I would need a list of a reminder of what's all in the phase.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely felt fresh, felt new. So it was good. It was, the superhero fatigue didn't hit quite as hard as it has been, but it's still there for me. But it's just a personal thing at this point. And then we went and watched it again because B is a major. She didn't even know what Marvel essentially was before me, or she didn't give 2 shits about it. And then I was like, well, we watched some of the movies, and now she's way more of a fan than I probably ever was. And so she's a big Thunderbolts gal, big Black Widow gal, Yelena gal. So we went and saw it again. And I will say that I liked it a lot more the second time I watched it.
Okay.
Because the first time I was just in my head with the superhero fatigue and Marvel, and I don't know. My expectations were really high, obviously, because of the A24 presence. I'm a big A24, generally a big A24 fan, and I was that last trailer they did with that was very A24-esque with the creator of Beef and this and
right.
That had me high, and so my expectations were really high going in. And I feel like that second viewing was what I needed to just allow myself to enjoy it more. So I liked it. I think it's definitely, as far as what Marvel's been doing for past years, so definitely up there as far as, good projects to me. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. B, what are your overall thoughts on Thunderbolts?
Start screaming into the microphone.
I loved it. I loved it. As she was saying, I didn't really get into Marvel until pretty recently. I literally fell asleep in the theater watching Civil War.
The best Marvel movie.
Fun fact.
The best Avengers movie.
Yeah, giant group of friends drug me to see it. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but sure, I'll go see a movie.
Sure.
I literally fell asleep.
And especially that one, I can see that because if you don't know what's going on, you're just like,
oh, they're fighting.
Okay, yeah, why are they fighting each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it had a really different feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Was a lot more like real.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously you got the void
It had
floating around.
Sure.
Like,
the A24 touch.
Yeah. Florence Pugh is everything.
Mm-hmm.
She is insane. Her as Yelena is a gift to the world. Truly. Yeah, I love her. I love her.
I felt that way since the Black Widow movie. And then, of course, they sprinkled her in Hawkeye.
Yes.
She was good.
And
Great in Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been like waiting for more like Yelena content. I feel like, and then they kind of announced Thunderbolts, and I was like, just only looking forward to that because I was like, more Yelena. I love Yelena. So yeah, I'm glad that they're like giving her the spotlight because I feel like she really deserves it as a character. Like she's really,
definitely.
She's so talented. And Bring Home Novocaine, buy on digital now. When the girl of his dreams is taken hostage, Nathan Kane's inability to feel pain will be his greatest strength in the fight to get her back. By the film, critics are calling outrageous, original, and wildly entertaining, and get over 35 minutes of bone-crushing extra features. Available at participating retailers, rated R from Paramount Pictures. I really did enjoy this movie. It is definitely different, especially with these superheroes that aren't, that can't fly. And I mean, of course, Sentry is a completely different league by himself. But, with between Red Guardian and, of course, Bucky the Winter Soldier, and then you have
U.S.
Agent. Ghost has always been one of my favorites, so it's good to see her back. Taskmaster we'll get to here in a little bit. And of course, Red Guardian, who's like the comedy relief for this. Because the one thing I really enjoyed about this movie, it definitely touched a lot on not just mental health, but really helped shine a spotlight on it compared to other MCU films. And not just, Bill Pullman's son, Lewis Pullman, not just his character, but also Yelena's as well. When you start the movie, she's lost, and she's pretty lost throughout it. She's been lost since her sister died. And it's just, all her jobs and missions are repetitive, and she's trying to find meaning. And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. Even if you're fantastic at something, it's that drive, like the why am I here aspect to the film that I think really, I don't want to say struck a nerve, but I think it touched people in a different way than most other Marvel movies have. So that's one thing I really enjoyed about it. The heart and soul, the comedy relief. And it was a great way to wrap up. Definitely not one of our favorite phases of the MCU. It's been, a little bit hit or miss, which was to be expected after Endgame. Endgame is a masterpiece. It's in a lot of people's top 3, as it should be, as well as Infinity War as well. And we knew that there was going to be some fatigue. And even Feige came out this week and said that. I saw that. The shows feel like homework, and they do. Yeah. It got to the point where I'm watching it just because, like, I want to make sure if it ties together with something else, you don't want to miss it. Right. And it was definitely quantity over quality. And now I think they're going to get back to quality over quantity and not just
I hope they
pump stuff out. Yeah.
I hope they mean it because it took them a long time to realize that. Yeah. I mean, anyways.
Agreed. So, let's talk about, any kind of like gripes or favorite performances, anything like that. And it doesn't have to be just the main crew. I will say one person that I was really impressed with was Geraldine. I don't want to butcher your last name, Geraldine, but she played Mel, the assistant to Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I thought she was, kind of like undercover awesome. And I would definitely like to see more of her. Again, Lewis Pullman, I think, is fantastic. Not to take anything away from Steven Yeun, who was originally supposed to play Sentry.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was. I like Lewis Pullman. He was great in Top Gun Maverick. He's been great in just about everything I've seen, and obviously with the acting
plays
lineage.
a Bob.
Yeah, he plays a Bob in just about every movie.
Just a Bob.
And then, of course, Hannah, who plays Ava / Ghost, I think was great. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more screen time for Ghost.
Me too.
I definitely would have loved to see a little bit more screen time for Taskmaster, but we were denied that real quick. As always, spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. I forget to announce it, but we've been doing this 7 years, so there are going to be some spoilers out there. So if you've not watched Thunderbolts, aka the New Avengers, yet, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, they put it on the posters everywhere already, so you had about 2 days to watch before you found out what happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
marketing for that, insane.
Yeah.
Dude, that transition was crazy. She was saying like they probably should have waited longer to do that.
Absolutely, they should have.
But like that whole concept of like everybody was like, "What's up with the asterisks? Like,
Right?
What's going on?" And then it was like, I don't know. That was such a cool move, and to have what's his name, Bucky? Sebastian Stan. Yeah, to have him like walking around like replacing the posters and everything like that. I don't know. It was just so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I just wish they would have waited at least 2 weeks, maybe. But like they were like, you had the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably.
It was such a big
and they figured too, because it's not like they didn't say it at the end of the movie. So even though, yes, they should have waited, it was one of those things to where everybody was going to let it all out anyways. So they might as well stayed on top of it.
I guess.
So it's such a cool move, though. Like whoever thought of that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The marketing behind it's so genius, because I think, I don't know what I was expecting, but when Valentina makes the announcement, I'm like, oh, maybe she's going to call them the Thunderbolts too, or the West Coast, well, not West Coast Avengers, but some kind of offshoot, and then just goes right into the New Avengers. And I think that was a great way to just wrap it up. And then of course, an awesome mid-credit scene with Red Guardian at the grocery store. Showcasing, David Harbour's just a true talent, and can't wait to see him in the final season for Stranger Things. But yeah, Red Guardian is definitely the comic relief of the film, and thank goodness. So
I was telling her, like, the fact that they were like name dropping Wheaties, I hope that they do like an actual collab with, like, I hope that they have like an actual like
they should.
But I feel like if they were going to, they probably would have.
Yeah. So unless they're waiting to do like the New Avengers Wheaties. Yeah. Like put
I don't know. That'd be so cool though.
Yeah.
I'd be rushing to the store to give me some Wheaties.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you? Any gripes? Any favorite characters? Favorite moments?
Let me think and start with a positive. Let me start with favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, Florence Pugh. I feel like she's the perfect. Right now, she's like the perfect person to put a spotlight on as far as Marvel goes, because she's like fresh and new still. So I'm happy to have like a new, just a new person leading a team, and a new person that has a personality and whatnot, like a very bold personality at that.
Yeah.
So obviously Florence Pugh is like a huge highlight, but the whole team is great. I do wish we would see a little more of Ava, because she's so cool and like. Like she does kind of, she's the only one besides Sentry, of course, that does have kind of real powers.
Yeah.
Like the phasing in and out through spaces and things like that. So I wish we got to see a little bit more of her. The mental health focus is always great. It was very on the nose about the the mental health stuff. But I mean, Sentry kind of tied it all together very well. His character and like his triple-sidedness allows it to be on the nose, to where it's not like roll your eyes like annoying. Like it kind of, it makes sense for the film, and like for all the other characters that he's or the other his peers, his team. And so I really like that the darker elements to it. That's all my favorite superhero movies are always going to be darker ones, because that's just how I am. Like Logan is my favorite superhero movie ever, and if you've seen Logan, it's very dark but awesome, rated R, just amazing. But yeah, I'm big into like Logan, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3, even though I still haven't watched it since it came out, because it's so devastating. It's so good because it's so devastating. So yeah, it's just that, like B was saying, it's like that added element of like realness to it that I appreciate about the group of Thunderbolts, about being misfits and whatnot. they kind of hit the mark better than DC did with Suicide Squad.
Agreed.
Originally, at least. Suicide Squad was fine, but I'm glad that Marvel didn't like. It would have sucked if like they knew like how Suicide Squad missed its mark and then they still missed the mark.
Right.
So luckily, like they like saw what went kind of wrong and they did it right. Yeah. So I liked that stuff about that.
Here we go.
Oh god.
Taskmaster. B and I have already argued about this for 40 minutes. I've like at two separate occasions since we've seen both movies. And I've talked to like several other people about it too, like at work, whatnot, like my dad. And it's all like there is two sides to it. Like, and my side is that I can't believe they just murdered her in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And it just felt so like disrespectful. And it even kind of reminded me of like in Deadpool and Wolverine where he digs up Wolverine's body and like kills all of the TVA or the whatever.
Yeah, TVA.
The guys with his pieces of his body. That like reminded me of when in Thunderbolts when they're like taking her gadgets and shit off her body. I was like, damn, they're just like, we're gonna dump Taskmaster into the garbage. Like, but hard.
Yeah.
Like she's not coming back hard.
Yeah.
And we want you to know that. So I'll just say that instead of going into a 40-minute tangent, unless it, yeah.
The disrespect.
Yeah. I'm just, because like Taskmaster
is a great villain in the comics.
Be trifled with.
Yeah.
And she just shot her in the head.
Yep.
Which I get it.
Like, girl, bye.
But like, I just feel like personally, there's other ways they could have just done things for Taskmasters, other ways they could have conveyed that message of like how expendable their lives are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like they did her really dirty.
Yeah.
And it just made me feel like, damn.
So I was seeing stuff too that there was a storyline to where she would have lived a little bit longer, but she would keep forgetting that they were friends.
Yes. I saw
and
that.
would keep going after U.S. Agent.
That's
I wish they would have kept that.
Yeah.
So it's maybe we'll get like a Snyder cut version of this. You know what I mean? Or the Jack. I think it's Shear.
I think so.
Yeah, Jack Shear cut. I don't know if they ever filmed it, but I do know that they said that was one of the storylines, and I really wish they would have gone with it. But yeah, the disrespect for Taskmaster. Come on. B, now I know you got your hot take, so bring it on in.
Okay. So my argument to all of this is, as much as it sucks that she died as quick as she did, realistic, like they are all trained assassins, right? Realistically, at least one of them would have gone down in that initial fight, right?
Sure.
That is my take on it.
Sure.
Like, I feel like if they would have all survived, you'd have been like, oh,
maybe you're not that good at your job.
So I was telling her, of all people, and I hate to say this, but Taskmaster is like the most disposable.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know that they realized that people cared about her as much as they did until they killed her off.
Yeah.
Like, because Black Widow came out, everybody said Black Widow sucked.
Right.
Nobody cared about Black Widow.
Right.
Nobody cared. Like, I feel like nobody cared about her until she was dead. And then they were like, oh, why'd you kill? She had so much potential. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
a solid point. If you're gonna off someone out of all of them, the one that we are least emotionally invested in was Taskmaster.
Yeah, that, and like I feel like for the storyline too, like she was saying like, oh, she was only in one movie. And I'm like, but you could say that about U.S. Agent. You could say that about Ghost.
He was in a whole show.
Like,
okay.
But like that was the only thing though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like all of the. I mean, like they all only have one project before, so you do that to anybody and everybody. Like anybody they would have killed. Like, there would have been a mass eruption over it.
And I mean, Ant-Man and Wasp, with Ghost, we were emotionally invested in Ghost because, yes, she was a villain, but she didn't want to be a villain. Yeah. She wanted to, not whatever it is, disappear.
Yeah.
Or, be a whole person.
Yeah.
So, I have to watch it. But yeah, it's just a shame. I know Jordan brought up the other day that maybe for Secret Wars, we'll get some kind of Taskmaster variant, which would be great because, I'd hate to just kind of see this, especially as awesome as a villain Taskmaster is in the comic books, just kind of, for lack of a better term, go to waste.
Yeah.
Maybe,
which, again, like I totally like see that side, but like
But you're right. If you got to kill someone off,
and
that's a logical choice.
I feel like it really like set the tone too, because you walk in like knowing, like like just by the way that they've like advertised the movie, you know it's gonna be different. You know it's gonna be a little darker. You know it's like gonna feel different. But when you're you're in the theater and you watch her get shot in the head, you're kind of like, oh, like this is. Right. This is different.
I do wish that they would have lied to us a little bit on the trailers, because if you watch the trailers, she's only in just that one scene. She's not in all these other scenes. So we all had an idea like, how long is Taskmaster going to make it now? Yeah. I mean, it was quick.
Yeah, none of the press. She didn't include any of it.
It felt messy. She was supposed to be in the whole movie, and then it got messy, and they cut her out of the movie, and that's what, like, I didn't get that effect. I didn't get her being shot, and I was like, oh, like, this is a dark I was just like, they fucked her up. Like, that's all I felt. Like, I didn't feel like, this is a darker movie.
Right.
I just felt dirty. Like, I felt bad for the actress. I felt bad for Taskmaster. I was like, like, and it just happened so early, too. It's just like...
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just like overshadowed it for me. The whole situation around it.
Because if anything, on the opposite note, then they shouldn't have put Taskmaster in any of the trailers.
I'm just like, just
don't. And then at least that way it would have been like, cool, Taskmaster, and then you're like, shit.
It's like it was like that little girl that Red Guardian saved.
Yeah.
You're like,
that was so funny.
Like, gone.
Yeah.
I giggled. That was a giggle moment.
Avoided. Yeah. We
the sound effect.
Like, audibly. We both audibly laughed. Like,
that was funny. I'm sorry.
It was funny because you're like, yay, Red Guardian. Oh. Before we get to our grades, now post-credit scene, which is crazy to think that it was filmed as they're filming Doomsday, a couple weeks before they were able to throw it in there. I got to say, it looks like Bucky definitely went to like Vidal Sassoon or somewhere to get that. Yeah, he had some big hair going on. You don't remember? Oh, his hair is huge in the post-credit scene. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, damn, this dude got a glow up. He had a whole glow up.
That.
But to me, great post-credit scene. It's supposed to lead right into Doomsday, which, we'll get that after Fantastic Four, which is the next one, and I believe the final one for the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Ironheart. Isn't Ironheart coming out?
That's a show.
But that's a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but still, Ironheart will be coming out. So, just thoughts on post-credit scene, and then if you want to go ahead and give it your grades, you can.
The post-credit scene for me, like obviously the Red Guardian one was hilarious. I love that one.
Oh, with what do you have, like the NASCAR suit?
Yeah, he looked ridiculous.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
With a Z. Or no, Avengers, new Avengers with a Z.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I don't know. I wish, it was the best post-credit scene we've had in a long time. They've been really flat.
Real terrible
or
this
just
phase.
Lazy as hell. Like, just don't even put one at that point. A lot of them were. So this was like the coolest one, I guess. But I didn't feel surprised. I don't know. You don't have to feel surprised, I guess.
Right. It wasn't like, but it was still cool to see the Fantastic Four ship.
Right. We already know the Fantastic Four is coming in. I'm excited about Fantastic Four more than I have been more than I am about Doomsday. I'm excited about Fantastic Four because it's like, new cast, new people.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. So I thought it was cool, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like the woohoo. Like there was some people like cheering kind of, and I was like, okay, like
all right.
I'll take it. Just like you said, phases 4 and 5 have had some real weak post-credit scenes, so I'll take it all day. And Red Guardian again with the comedy relief with his little NASCAR new Avengers suit.
I mean, I guess it's a personal thing. Like with the post credits, my expectations are just always like, I want to be like surprised about something or see somebody cool come like from another, like even maybe if they showed like one of the Fantastic Four for a second, I would have liked that even more than the ship. I don't really care about the ship. Yeah. But I like to be like a little bit like, oh, that person, or like a little bit of a reveal or something. Like selfishly, I wanted to hear like something about X-Men. Yeah. I wanted to hear like the I would have lost. I would have pooped my pants. I would have lost my mind. I will lose as soon as there's like an X-Men reference coming.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts on post credit, and then we'll start the scoring with you.
I thought the post credits were cute. I think Red Guardian is hilarious, and I thought it was really cool to see them in their like tacky Avengers costumes and stuff. But yeah, as far as like you said, with like the Fantastic Four, everybody kind of knew it was coming, so it wasn't like a big like
shock factor,
gasp moment. But yeah, I thought they were good.
Yeah,
I just thought of something in one of the end credits. One thing I wasn't a huge fan of in the end credits was the talk about, and one of my coworkers actually brought it up to me, and then it made me mad, like after the fact, because I was like,
Sam Wilson. That he's suing him.
Yeah.
That now they have a beef, like after the show, they were so cool, like cute together, like the chemistry, the buddy, and now they're beefing over the name.
It's like all over again. It's
really,
I
didn't think about it till my coworker mentioned it, and I was like, that is so stupid. Like, why are they beefing? Yeah. Like now they're not good because the name thing. I'm like,
Sam. Sam.
I saw somebody point out the fact that Walker's shield is like still a taco. Like, why didn't he get that fixed?
I mean, he'd have to take it to Wakanda and have them fix it because it's vibranium. Yeah.
Why did he get?
I guess Sentry. I guess like.
Yeah, you would think. Well, I guess Sentry hasn't gone back.
They're not
to being
letting
Sentry.
him go back to
right. So because he could easily yeah. And I will say too, we didn't really mention it, but the scene where Sentry was straight just kicking ass. I was like,
grabbed Yelena like this.
Yeah,
he was like moving his head like this.
Yep. I mean, whoo. So more things to come from Sentry,
scene.
That's for sure. So what would be out of 5 gold coins, what would be your score for her?
I feel like I can't give it a 5 out of 5, or you guys are like jumping.
You
can give whatever you want. This is you. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 5 out of 5.
You can do like a point if you want to do like a.
I love it so much.
Okay, 5 points.
It's probably like, I don't know if it's above or under Black Widow. They might be tied, but I love them.
That's your opinion.
I love them. I just love the characters. I love the characters.
Okay. 5 out of 5.
I'll give it like a 4, just a 4.0.
Solid.
Okay.
For me.
I'm gonna go 3.8.
Okay.
And again, it's not that I didn't think of it. It's a good film. Like I said, I love how Marvel has tapped into and brought up mental health, and not just one character, but a couple characters. And I mean, this is a band of misfits that, all of them in one way, shape, or form are all trying to find their way, and they find each other. And I think that's the big thing, as a family and friends. We all go through different moments in our lives and different days, and every day is different. Some days it's like, life's great, and there's crappy days, and this is where friends and family come in to help you with the crappy days, and they were able to show that with this team.
I love that too. Like I love that message of like that Yelena kept hitting on, or I like when she at first was like, you just push it deep down, and then
that's a good impersonation.
And then she's like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
And like the whole message of like, you need your chosen family.
Yep.
Like obviously if you have the family that's great.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you need your chosen family. If you do, you still need your chosen family of friends, family, co-work, whoever that is. Like you need that to get through because the more you push it, the more you turn into the void, like literally.
Yeah.
Like it just.
And the void is definitely the worst of all of us. And, the void being the worst of Sentry is the worst that it can be.
Can I add one more gripe?
Of course.
One more gripe. I wish we would have gotten to see at least one shame room of each character.
Yes.
Good one.
Yeah.
That it was rumored that Natasha Romanoff was supposed to be in one of her shame rooms, and I'm gonna beat somebody up over her not being in the film.
That would have been so good.
It would have been so good.
Yeah.
It would have been so good. Because, like, why would she not be in a shame? Like, why would that not be
one of Yelena's, like, core, like...
regrets is,
That's
like,
true.
not... I don't know.
Like, seeing her, like, on the cliff with, like... Or somehow... Even though that's she wasn't there to experience that, though, so that makes sense. But, like, you know...
Good call.
But, like...
Good call.
They had to have seen each other again before... Because, like, Yelena was doing her own thing, like, releasing the widows. Like, they would have had
the last time they seen it, it would have been good to see a scene of, like, the last time they saw each other before she died. Like,
yes. Because she blipped while she's, like, trying to free a widow, right?
That's
like,
right.
I mean, and you assume it's been a while if that's what she's, you know, been doing. She's in, like, a routine of, like, doing it.
Yeah.
They would have seen each other.
Good
like,
call.
oh.
I would have
I do think that they, you know, obviously every movie is not like there's, you know, stuff that hits the cutting room floor. Sometimes they have to cut it shorter.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see what happened with that. Because as soon as like that she was in the shame room, I automatically assumed I'm like, oh, it must be her and her sister. And you know,
or like to
wasn't.
see them in the red room together.
Right.
Yeah, why didn't they show that? Because they never showed that in Black Widow either,
like,
right?
They got young Yelena
together
to come back. They could have gotten like the little Natasha like from Black Widow. They could have gotten that actress to come back if they couldn't get ScarJo.
Yeah.
Like that would have been so cool to see them in the red room.
Listen up, Disney. We got some ideas.
I want to see more of the red room.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we will eventually. It's definitely still, there's a lot of mystery and mystique to it.
Yeah.
So I know that they don't want to show us too much, but good call on that. But yeah, I do want to see it again. I mentioned this to you. I feel like the first time it was more like, and I feel like I do this for a lot of movies. It's like, okay, let's get to it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then I analyze. And I mean, I think I told you immediately after, I was like, I need a second watch just to like sit down and really enjoy it. 3.8 still isn't a bad score, especially out of 5. I mean, it's rewatchable as hell. You know, I'll definitely give it that.
Length.
Definitely.
Yeah, the length is like the perfect length for a movie. Great setup to the next phase. You know, it's like we're having fun again. You know, I think you said it, you nailed it on the head. This one definitely helped get rid of the superhero fatigue, and hopefully Disney and MCU can get back. Because, I mean, you know how it is. It's like they come out with a couple bombs. It's like MCU's dead. MCU's gone. And then, you know, come out a movie like that. They're back.
So bad.
Why don't they listen, though? When you're back, you're back. And you go do some stupid, irrelevant shit again. It's like, just quality, please. We don't want the straight fanfare for what that Kevin Feige or whoever like admitted that Marvel has become a
like homework.
Oh, homework.
There was another term though about like the fan generational like the fan base that Marvel has never changed basically because they've made it that way to where like you have to watch all this different shit to keep up with what's going on with this multiverse and this all that. And so that's why I'm like ready to be done and like is because I'm tired of keeping up with like all these.
I feel like they did a pretty good job with like you not having to do homework with Thunderbolts though. Like, it kind of helps, especially like to have a little bit of a background on people, but I feel like it's
you could go
you could
go into it
and say, oh, I like these characters, and then kind of backtrack, which is kind of cool.
Very good call. So yeah, we definitely recommend if you're not caught up on the MCU and you're looking for something fun. I've actually had a few families reach out to me like, hey, can I take my kid to this? You know, I would say, you know, I would say at least 10 and up. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't say like your 5-year-old, but you know, if you have a kid that is looking to get into the MCU, or you as an adult haven't had the time, or you're brand new to it, you can definitely get into this. Like, there'll be some question marks and you wonder, you know, where some of the histories are with these people. But I think it's one you can definitely walk into and be like, okay, like I get somewhat of what's going on.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, hang out for closing credits or whatever it is that I call it. And that's going to do it for this episode of Thunderbolts. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, Zero Dark Nerdy on all your favorite social media platforms, especially our YouTube channel. More videos coming your way. Just did a couple unboxing videos. Got a lot more stuff coming out. In the meantime, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We should have this episode out this week. So, happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And on behalf of B and Jordan, this is your boy Brian, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.